No Man's Sky has undergone significant changes over the years, and the World's Part 1 update has brought even more exciting features. Whether you're a seasoned player or a newcomer, understanding the basics of base building is essential for creating visually impressive bases. In this planned video series, I'll cover everything you need to know, from unlocking base parts to advanced building techniques. In today's video, we start with the basics. And who am I? I am Beeblebum. I've been exploring and building in No Man's Sky for years, and I'm here to share my knowledge and experience with you. So let's get you started. Oh, to make sure this guide is accessible for every platform, I will refer to the little pop-up window if I mention any buttons that need to be pressed. Before you can start building your dream base in No Man's Sky, you need to unlock the necessary base parts. There are two categories of base parts. Parts you can build wherever you like, as long as it's not in another player's claimed area. These parts are basic survival, crafting equipment, vehicle base, save points, and so on. And then there are parts that only can build in your own claimed area. These are mainly structural and decoration parts. To claim an area, you need a base computer. A base computer can be unlocked by progressing through the main quest when starting a new game. Typically, the base computer unlocks about after 30 minutes of gameplay. But if you're eager to start building right away, you can unlock the base computer before this point by disabling the tutorial or enabling all blueprints in the custom game mode, or you can start a creative game mode. Once you unlock the base computer, you'll be ready to claim your building area and start creating your base. Let's talk about claiming your building area in No Man's Sky. To claim a building area, you'll need to find the ideal location and place your base computer. Once you've placed it, open the base computer's menu and claim the area. Before you can claim it, the base computer will check the database against any other claimed base computer to ensure you are not overlapping with existing claims. The base computer will claim a buildable area with a standard radius of 300 units, creating a bubble with the base computer at its center. If you want to extend this buildable area, you can do so up to 1000 units by placing objects at the edge of the radius. For a more detailed guide on this technique, you should check out the link in the description. As mentioned before, you will not be able to claim areas that are already registered in the database. Base computers can be placed as close as 300 units apart. While placing base computers close together can be a great way to build together with friends, it is essential to know that claiming a base area generally protects it from others building in it, at least if you claimed that area while being online. To manage who can build in your area, you can adjust the multiplayer settings. You can set building rights to yourself only, to friends, to group, or anyone. Now, these building rights are only going to be available when you are online in that system. When you're offline, nobody will be able to build on your base computer. This flexibility allows you to control your building environment according to your preferences and ensure your creations remain intact. Despite the potential for misuse, the No Man's Sky community is known for its creativity and cooperation, so you're unlikely to encounter many trolls. Building close to friends can enhance your gameplay experience, allowing for collaborative projects and shared resources. It is possible to place and own multiple base computers on the same planet. However, keep in mind that only one base per account per planet can be uploaded to the No Man's Sky servers. This means that only the last uploaded base will be visible to other players. Yes, uploaded bases can be seen by other players, making it a great way to showcase your creativity. If a visitor wants to see all your bases on one planet, they will need to be in the system while you're online. Otherwise, only the uploaded base will be visible. To be able to upload your base to the No Man's Sky servers, you need to of course have a minimum amount of base parts to be able to upload. The minimum amount is 9 parts. Once you have built 9 parts, you will be able to upload your base. That is, of course, until you reach the set limits. Take note that there is a difference between uploading and claiming a base computer. While claiming a base computer registers online players their claims, the uploading will make the base visible to others. Now, before you start building your ultimate base, it's important to know about the building limits in No Man's Sky to avoid any surprises. Currently, there are only 2 limits you need to be aware of. The first one is the base upload limit. This means if you exceed the building limit of 3000 parts, that will prevent your base from being uploaded to the server. You can monitor your progress on this limit in the build info screen on the right. Sadly, there is no current build counter, so you will have to keep an eye on it manually to see it pop up. Then we have the overall building limit. The overall building limit is officially 16,000 parts. Essentially, once you have placed 16,000 parts across all your bases, including your freighter, you will no longer be able to place any new parts. If you reach this limit, you may need to delete all the bases, remove parts to free up space, or start a new save. Being aware of these limits is crucial, especially because you don't want to hit any of them in the middle of a project. By knowing these constraints, you can plan your builds more effectively and avoid unexpected interruptions. Sometimes you might need to delete a base to start fresh, free up building materials, or make space for that limit we just talked about. There are two main ways to delete a base. You have the easy way, you have the tedious way. With the easy way, you can delete the entire base through your base computer. This method is quick, but it will result in about losing 50% of the used materials. The remaining materials can be found in the base salvage capsule, which you can build afterwards on your new base. The tedious way is if you want to reclaim all your materials. That means you will have to delete each piece individually, and then once that is done, remove the base computer. Before we jump into the practical information for building, there are a few critical pieces of information you need to know to optimize your base building experience in No Man's Sky. First, let's talk about moving your base computer. It is possible to move the physical base computer if you wish to place it somewhere more convenient. However, you cannot use this to expand your base area or move the base location. The buildable area will not change and the original center point will remain. Moving the base computer can be done from inside the building mode, and I will cover that in a minute. Another crucial piece of info is about linking between your bases. It is important to note that separate bases cannot share links such as power connections, byte devices, teleporters, and supply pipes. Each base will need its own independent power source and connections. It does not make a difference who owns the base. Unlocking new building parts is key to expanding your creative possibilities in No Man's Sky. And here is how you can get access to a wide variety of building components. The first one and the main one is by using salvage data. Salvage data can be found underground and must be dug up with a terrain manipulator. You can use salvage data to unlock building parts either at the construction terminal or at the anomaly. You can also unlock special building rewards by spending Quicksilver at the Quicksilver Merchant at the anomaly as well. The scrap dealer at the space stations will give you access to the derelict freighters, which contain a small selection of unique building parts. And then we have the unique expedition rewards. By completing milestones and the full expedition, it is possible to unlock exclusive building parts. For more detailed information on unlocking building parts, you should check out the guide linked in the description as well. In the next segment, we'll cover entering the build menu and navigating through your building options. Press the corresponding button for your platform. This will bring up a menu that shows all your unlocked building parts organized into categories and subcategories. As you hover over each part, you'll see the required materials needed to build it. This is a handy way to keep track of what you need for your projects. To select the building part, navigate through the build menu and choose the desired part by pressing the designated button. By the way, you can also pin details for easy reference, which helps you remember and find the required materials. Oh, by the way, I forgot to record this and I'm just inserting this as the editor Beeblebum. If you look at the building parts, you will actually see there's like a little dashes right next to there. This is actually allowing you to show varieties. If I, for example, let's say I built this timber wall. If I build this timber wall right here and I build another timber wall on top, you will see that these varieties automatically are applied in layers. And you don't have any control over how they are done. Except, of course, if you choose the varieties in your menu. Tapping the button, that opens up the list and then you can see the 3 varieties that are added to it. So each of these will give you a different look to the wall. Now, if you do that for this wall, you can do it for the short walls, you can do it for the windows. So every part that has these dashes has a variety to it, and you can use that. All right, let's go back to the regular program. When you select a part, the menu will disappear and a chosen part will appear green if it's placeable and red if it's not. This color coding system makes it easy to see where you can and can't place parts, or if you're out of resources needed for it. When you're in the build menu, the info screen displays several crucial details on the right. There you can find the name and the description. It will also give you information about the power requirements. If parts are green, it is generating power. If the part shows red, it will consume power. Again, it will show you the needed materials. Also, it shows you on what base computer you are building. For example, if you're building with two base computers near each other, you can see if you're building on the correct one. It also shows you the uploadable status of your base. So if you're still under the limit, it will be uploadable. If it's over the limit, it will say not uploadable. And it will also show you how much terrain edits you have left. The building tool menu offers several actions to help you create your base. The first one is cycle part. This is allowing you to switch between different parts in the same subcategory using the corresponding buttons. You can of course build, that means that you're just going to place the part if it's green. Then you can also change the colors, and here you can change the color and texture of the parts to customize the appearance of that part and your base. At the time of recording, colors are still linked to the building type. So timber and alloy will have different color themes. It is possible to transfer these colors, but that should be another guide. Then we have rotate, which allows you to rotate parts on an axis using your mouse scroll wheel or the controller triggers. Then you have cycle axis, which allows us to switch the axis on which you rotate your part. Now take note, there are 6 different axes when cycling through them. 3 of them will be related to the part, and the other 3 will be related to the plane you're building in. Next is scale, which allows you to adjust the size of scalable parts to fit your design. Now, scaling is not natively possible for every part. Some parts have fixed sizes. Then we have toggle free placement, which allows you to switch between snapping points and just free placing for more flexibility. Next one is toggle edit/build, which is going to switch between the regular building menu and the editing menu. I'll talk about that in a second. Then we have toggle camera, which allows you to fly around while building for better navigation and placement, which I'm going to cover as well in a second. And then the last one is toggle wiring. This allows you to enable the wiring menu to set up connections like power and teleporter links, supply pipes, and so on. And you can actually cycle through these types of connections with the cycle button. Now, by pressing the toggle edit build button, you change the toolbar. The edit menu offers several functions to help you manage your building parts. The first one is move. Now, this is going to allow you to pick up and move parts while retaining their scale, color, and rotation. This is useful for repositioning elements without rebuilding or changing them, and that also is the action you're going to use to move your base computer. Then we have duplicate. This allows you to copy parts with the same properties to quickly replicate an existing part. This will include color, rotation, and scale. This is a time saver when you need multiple identical elements. Delete is pretty much clear. This is going to allow you to remove parts from your base. Now take note that if you move or duplicate, the scale and orientation only are replicated if you do not snap the parts. Snapping parts will revert the orientation and scale. One more function we can look at is swap part. If you aim your cursor in the edit menu at an existing part, you can actually swap the part for another existing part similar to what you just built. So for example, this wall will allow me to replace it with these kinds of wall. For example, replace it with this window. The build camera in No Man's Sky can make your building process much easier. To enter the build camera, press the specified button for your platform. The build camera allows you to fly around your base, providing a full flyby view for easier navigation and placement of parts. This feature is handy for placing parts in hard-to-reach areas or getting a better overall perspective of your base layout. It can also allow you to find some of those hard-to-get snap points. When you place your first building part, it will be in free placement mode, since there is nothing to snap to yet. Once you have built your first part, other parts can snap to it, provided the starter part uses snap points. Snapping in No Man's Sky might seem a bit confusing at first, especially if you're used to different building mechanics. For example, some games might need you to aim the building part at the edge of a part you wish to build against. Generally, in No Man's Sky, you aim the part you want to snap at the location where you want it to be placed. For example, if you wish to snap a floor against a wall, you aim your cursor to the center of where the floor is supposed to snap. Moving the cursor around should help you understand quite quickly how snapping works. And finally, let's explore terrain editing while building in No Man's Sky. When building floors, certain prefabs or certain structures into the terrain will be automatically removed. Well, provided you have the terrain edits available. Your multi-tool will also allow you to manually remove terrain, add terrain, or restore terrain in case you want to build on a flat surface. However, be cautious about building inside or on top of manipulated terrain. Terrain has a tendency to revert or regenerate, especially during multiplayer sessions. This can ruin the look of your base and the hard work you put into it. It is generally better to work with the existing terrain rather than against it. So look for flat areas if you want to build a level base, use caves if you want to build underground, or take the advantage of hills or mountains for cliffside builds. This approach ensures your base will remain visually appealing over time. And there you have it, my fellow builders, a complete guide to getting started with base building in No Man's Sky. From unlocking your first base part, claiming your perfect spot, to mastering the build menu and understanding building limits. You should now be equipped with the knowledge to create your own base and get those creative juices flowing. Remember, base building is as much about expressing your unique style as it is about creating functional structures. Experiment with different designs, explore new building parts, and don't be afraid to push the boundaries of your creativity. These are just the basics, and there is so much more to learn and discover. This video is the first in a series of base building guides I hope to remake, so stay tuned for more advanced tips and techniques. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to like the video and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. I'm sure there are many more useful tips and tricks out there, so please share yours in the comments below. I love hearing from them. For more detailed guides and advanced techniques, you should check out the links in the description and look out for some more coming. Thank you so much for watching and happy building.